You're driving home late at night when you see someone broken down on a dark highway. Do you stop to help a stranger, potentially putting yourself at risk? Or do you keep driving to ensure your own safety? Your answer to this question reveals everything about your ethical framework. And you probably didn't even know you had one. Every single day you make hundreds of ethical decisions. Should you tell your friend the truth about their terrible haircut? Is it okay to take that pen from work? Should you give money to the homeless person on the corner? But here's what's fascinating: most people have never actually thought about why they make these choices. Today, we're diving into the hidden world of ethics and philosophy. And I promise you'll never look at your decisions the same way again. I'm Mattercod, and for the past 2 years, I've been obsessed with understanding how humans determine right from wrong. In the next 15 minutes, we're going to explore 3 mind-bending questions. Number 1, what exactly is ethics and why should you care? Number 2, the 3 major schools of ethical thinking that shape your entire worldview. Number 3, how understanding ethics can literally change your life. And stick around until the end, because I'm going to give you a simple framework that will help you make better decisions in any situation. What is ethics? So what exactly is ethics? Most people think it's just about following rules or being good. But that's like saying music is just about making noise. Ethics is actually the branch of philosophy that asks the biggest questions. Humans can ask, what makes an action right or wrong? How should we live? What do we owe each other? Think about it this way. When you see someone drop their wallet, you have 3 options: return it, keep it, or ignore it. But why do you choose what you choose? That's where ethics lives, in the why behind our actions. Here's something that blew my mind when I first learned it. You already have a sophisticated ethical system running in your head right now. You just might not be aware of it. Let me prove it to you. Imagine you found out your best friend was cheating on their partner. What would you do? Seriously, pause the video and think about it. Whatever you just thought, you didn't just randomly pick an answer. You weighed loyalty against honesty, considered consequences, maybe thought about what kind of person you want to be. That's ethical reasoning in action. Why ethics matters. But why does this matter? I mean, can't we just follow our gut? Here's the thing. We're living in the most ethically complex time in human history. AI is making decisions about our lives. Social media is rewiring how we connect. Climate change is forcing us to rethink our relationship with the planet. The people who understand ethics, who can think clearly about right and wrong, they're the ones who'll shape the future. Everyone else is just along for the ride. Section 2, the 3 schools of ethics. Now, throughout history, philosophers have developed 3 major approaches to ethics. Think of them as 3 different lenses for looking at moral decisions. There's consequentialism, which judges actions by their outcomes. Deontological ethics, which focuses on rules and duties. And virtue ethics, which asks what kind of person you should be. Don't worry about the fancy names. What matters is understanding how each one works, because I guarantee you use all 3 without realizing it. Consequentialism, the results game. Let's start with consequentialism. This is the ends justify the means approach. The most famous version is utilitarianism, do whatever creates the greatest good for the greatest number of people. Imagine you're a doctor with 5 patients dying from organ failure, and 1 healthy patient walks in. A strict utilitarian might say, take the organs from the healthy person to save 5 lives. 5 lives are worth more than 1, right? This sounds horrific to most people, which shows us the limitations of pure consequentialism. But before you dismiss it, think about this. Every time you choose to donate to charity, instead of buying something for yourself, you're thinking like a consequentialist. I use consequentialist thinking all the time. When I'm deciding what video to make next, I ask, which topic will help the most people? That's consequentialism in action. Deontological ethics, the rules of the game. Now let's talk about deontological ethics. This was made famous by Immanuel Kant, and it's all about universal rules and duties. Kant said some actions are always wrong, period. Lying, for example. Even if lying would save someone's life, Kant would say you can't do it, because lying violates the fundamental principle of treating people as rational beings who deserve the truth. This might seem extreme, but you probably use deontological thinking more than you realize. When you say "I gave my word" or "that's just wrong," you're appealing to universal principles, not just consequences. I remember in college, I had the chance to cheat on a final exam. The professor left the room, and I could have easily looked at my neighbor's paper, but something in me said, that's not who I am. That's deontological thinking. Virtue ethics, the character game. Finally, we have virtue ethics, which goes back to Aristotle. Instead of asking, what should I do? It asks, what kind of person should I be? Virtue ethics says that being ethical isn't about following rules or calculating outcomes. It's about developing good character traits. Virtues like courage, honesty, compassion, and wisdom. Think about someone you really admire. I bet it's not because they follow rules perfectly or because they always get the best outcomes. It's because of who they are, their character, their virtues. When you ask yourself, what would my role model do in this situation? You're thinking like a virtue ethicist. You're not just solving a problem. You're becoming the kind of person you want to be. In Section 3, how this changes everything. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Most real-world ethical decisions aren't solved by just one approach. The most ethically mature people use all three. Let's go back to our opening example, the broken-down car on the highway. A consequentialist might think about the outcomes. Helping could save someone's life, but could also put you in danger. Deontologist might focus on the duty to help others in need. A virtue ethicist would ask, what would a courageous, compassionate person do? The beautiful thing is you don't have to choose just one. You can use all three perspectives to make more thoughtful, nuanced decisions. Understanding these frameworks doesn't just make you a better philosopher, it makes you a better person. In your career, your relationships, your role as a citizen. In business, you'll recognize when someone's using purely consequentialist, thinking to justify harmful practices. In politics, you'll see through appeals to rules that ignore human consequences. In your personal life, you'll make decisions that align with both your values and your vision of who you want to become. The three-question framework. Before we wrap up, I promised you a simple framework for ethical decision-making. When you're facing a tough choice, ask yourself these three questions. Number 1, what are the likely consequences of each option? Number 2, what principles or duties are at stake? Number 3, what would the best version of myself do? You don't need to be a philosopher to use this. Just asking these three questions will make your decisions more thoughtful and more ethical. Personal challenge? Here's my challenge for you. For the next week, use this framework on one decision each day. It could be as simple as how to respond to a rude email, or as complex as a major life choice. I think you'll be amazed at how much clearer your thinking becomes when you approach decisions with this kind of structure. I'm curious, which of these three approaches resonates most with you? Are you more of a consequentialist focused on outcomes? A deontologist driven by principles? Or a virtue ethicist focused on character? Let me know in the comments below. If this video helped you think differently about ethics and decision-making, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. We dive deep into philosophy, psychology, and practical wisdom every week.